Hello and welcome into HTF Bets. My name is Andrew Gregg, and today we have an exciting show for you with our picks for the NFL's biggest awards, as well as our thoughts on the MLB wildcard race, and finally putting a new spin on a classic bet segment. But before that, we'd like to take a moment of silence this 9/11 in remembrance of one of the saddest days in American history. And thank you for staying with us. To my left, I am joined by Augie Aronson, a new face at the HTF Bets hosting stand. How are you feeling today, Augie?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm filling in for Ben today. Ben's living it up in Greece right now. So, yeah, I mean, he's sent me some pictures, having a great time out there. But I'm excited to fill in for him today and host.
And we're excited to have you, and equally as excited to be here is Diego Ortiz. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. Obviously, a new week of football, a new week of sports, and a new week of bets, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, I am excited as well. But in this episode of HTF Bets, we're looking a little bit forward to the end of the season and our NFL award picks. Augie, kick us off. What is your award, and who do you have winning it?
I got Tyler Warren, the rookie tight end out of Penn State, who the Colts took with the 14th overall pick. Diego, you must be over the moon about this guy. Yeah. Guy had 7 catches for 76 yards, and they even lined up as a fullback and gave him a handoff, and he got 3 yards in the first down. This guy was one of the most explosive playmakers coming out of Penn State. They lined him up all over the place and got him the football. And Shane Steichen was doing the same exact thing. A lot of times he did catch the ball out of the flat, ran like little like out routes or whatever and just flat finders. Found him, but he had 36 yards after the catch. He made a lot of people miss. He's showing off his explosiveness, and he even had a wheel route for like 30 yards. The guy's a stud. He was the 3rd best tight end this season, this last week. Look, if you picked him late in the fantasy football, you got to steal. I think this guy's going to be great. He's sitting at plus 900 odds. And yeah, we saw Brock Bowers last year, what he did. The NFL kind of works in twos. We had 2 quarterbacks last year, or two rookie quarterbacks 2 years in a row go crazy. I'm thinking we might have another one here with Tyler Warren, who's probably one of the most explosive tight ends with the ball in his hand. So I like Tyler Warren plus 900 to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, my personal thoughts is that I love him on my fantasy team. I was able to pick him up in the 9th round of my fantasy draft. And just in general, Tyler Warren is one of those explosive playmakers, a check-down option for Daniel Jones, and even more than just a check-down option, a guy that you can find downfield. Obviously, he's very athletic. As Augie mentioned, 36 yards after the catch.
Yeah, when you check it down to him, he's going to make people miss.
Exactly.
So even then, you're still going to get plenty of yards on a check down.
And that isn't like the standard out of tight ends. Like,
it's
tight
not
ends
the standard, yeah.
are usually more of like a blocking or like obviously there's been a revolutionizing of tight ends with obviously Mark Andrews and just a bunch of other tight ends that can not only block but catch the ball. But any thoughts as this is your pick as well with being the Colts?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously one of the big things too about Tyler Warren and just him being on the Colts is that one big issue last year was that they didn't have somebody that was able to control the middle of the field. Right, like a lot of their receivers were more deep threats like Pittman and Pierce, and really that only guy in the middle was down, so they kind of needed a tight end that could really secure that part of the field. And I think having a guy like Daniel Jones who's good at throwing checkdowns, and then Tyler Warren who's just a great athlete, controls the middle of the field, is always going to be open for you as like a safety valve. I mean, he's going to get the ball a lot this year, and I think he's going to be really productive.
I mean, he led the team with targets with 9 targets. So he's going to get the ball a lot, guys. So I really like him at plus 900.
100%. I feel like he's going to be one of the main options on this Colts offense. The Colts offense that is looking a little bit revamped with Daniel Jones at the helm, something that you weren't very happy about, but maybe changing your tune a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's only week 1, kind of a mix of the Dolphins being bad and the Colts being a little bit better.
But
we'll see.
We can skip out on the Dolphins being bad part. And with that, we'd like to welcome in the 4th member of today's HTF Bets crew, and Jaden Hermit. I know that you have some thoughts on the Offensive Rookie of the Year pick, and then also lead us into your defensive player of the year pick after.
Yeah, so hi, thank you for having me. Defensive player of the year, I have to go with none other than Micah Parsons, just recently traded to Green Bay this past offseason. And when you talk about a defensive player with such impact on the field, you have to look at Micah Parsons. Last year, 12 sacks in only 13 games, tied for 5th in the NFL. And he had all the drama with Uncle Jerry or Jerry Jones this past offseason. So I think we're going to look at a new reinvigorated Micah Parsons. He's going to have to have lit a fire under him, and I think he's going to come with that fire. And he just recently got paid, $210 million over 5 years, most by a non-quarterback ever. So I believe that we're going to see a different Micah Parsons this year, DPOY.
Yeah, and then if you want to just give us your pick on what do you think, if you had any opinions on Tyler Warren, did you have anybody else that you thought was deserving of maybe a mention for the Offensive Rookie of the Year?
First and foremost, I think Tyler Warren is great. 6'6", 250, a big guy that can move, had some great plays against the Dolphins this past week. But I have to look at Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, or Bill Merritt, as they call him. I think he's a very shifty runner with, potential for explosive plays. And he's a 7th-round pick. Me personally, I love an underdog. So Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt or Bill Merritt, that's my pick.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities in that running back room with the Commanders at this point. Obviously, Austin Eckler is still there, but they traded away Brian Robinson. So there's a genuine possibility that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt gets in there. And any thoughts on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, guys?
I like Bill. I personally think that this Commanders running back room has a lot of people on kind of the same talent level. Like, obviously, Eckler used to be that guy. He's a little older now. But I do like Bill. I think Bill will get the ball much more as we go along. I just don't think he's going to get the ball as much as Warren, or even, if I was going to go running back, I would go Genty. But honestly, for me, my biggest threat, I think, is Emeka Egbuka. Sorry, that's a tough name to pronounce.
No, it is.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns in week 1. I think that's the biggest threat to the award right now.
100%.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I agree. I like Bill Krosky-Merritt a lot. Emeka Egbuka is really good, too. I mean, Egbuka in college was one of, the most reliable receivers. He was kind of like that guy after Jackson Smith and Jigba at Ohio State, so I like that you mentioned him. I think he's going to be a good player. Yeah,
and then personally, going back to your defensive player of the year pick, I think that Micah Parsons is one of the best players in the NFL. Not only, it doesn't matter what position he is, and one of the most impactful players. So as a DPOY pick, I think Micah Parsons is a standout player. And then moving on into my personal pick, I have the MVP award, the standout award of this league, the NFL. And for my MVP pick, I have Josh Allen. And I don't think that it can be anybody else, just because of the fact that Josh Allen has cemented himself as one of, if not the best quarterback in the league. I think that him and Lamar Jackson are just playing at 2 completely different levels than everybody else. Just a fun stat for you guys. In the 4th quarter alone, he had 251 passing yards, which would be 9th best of any quarterback during all of week 1. And that was only in the 4th quarter. As you can see on the screen graphic, he had 394 passing yards in total, 4 total touchdowns, and a completion percentage over 70%. And that's not against a bad defense. He's not playing against the Jaguars. He's not playing against the Carolina Panthers. He's playing against one of the best defenses in the NFL, in the Baltimore Ravens. And I just don't see a world in which, when he's dominating the Baltimore Ravens in week 1, he doesn't go ahead and dominate the rest of the season. I think that he's a great pick, and especially for essentially a value pick. There's so many names in this list because of the fact that it is MVP. But if you can snag him at plus 550, plus 600, wherever he's listed at, I think that's a great pick. And I really like Josh Allen. I just think that he's playing such good football.
Yeah, I got no argument there. I mean, Josh Allen is quite literally Superman, I feel like, at this point. Yeah. My only thing would be maybe the Bengals defense sucks. They're going to have to score a ton of points. So maybe Joe Burrow, because he throws for 5,000 yards, because they're going to constantly have to throw the ball. But I think the safest bet is Josh Allen. I don't think there's much of a debate. What about you, Diego?
I like the Josh Allen pick. The only thing I'm worried about is just voter fatigue. I mean, that's always going to be a thing. It was a thing with Lamar Jackson last year. In my opinion, I think he should have won MVP. So we kind of might see a similar thing this year where Lamar and Josh Allen both have really good seasons, but there can only be one winner, and voter fatigue is obviously, it's always going to be a thing, and we see it in the NBA as well. But yeah, Josh Allen's playing at another level. I mean, that game against the Ravens last Sunday was unreal, and I think he's going to be able to keep it up, so I like the pick.
Yeah, and then going into that, guide us into your pick as well.
Got it. So my pick was Bijan Robinson to win Offensive Player of the Year, right now sitting at plus 950. I think Bijan Robinson is just one of the best overall athletes that the NFL has to offer right now. I mean, he's a dynamic runner. He's a dynamic pass catcher. He has a more reliable quarterback in Michael Penix this year. I think that's going to play a big part into it as well. And I think they're just going to feature Robinson more on the offense this year. We always talk about Atlanta, where they don't really feature their main guys as much as they should, right? We talk a lot about how Kyle Pitts isn't really featured much in their offense. And, Bijan Robinson was kind of overlooked at times a little bit his rookie season. But I think this year it's just going to be different. I think he's overall just one of the best players. We saw it against Tampa. There were plays where, he just looked unstoppable, running the ball and just catching it as well. Obviously, he had that big play against Tampa in the first quarter. So, yeah, I just think Bijan Robinson is going to win this award.
Yeah, and I feel like MVP is one of those awards that is a quarterback-driven award. I think Offensive Player of the Year is one of those awards that is more of a running back-driven award. And
it's the best of everybody else besides the quarterback. Yeah.
Exactly, and I just wanted to go over right back to you, Jade, one last time. What were your thoughts on any of the picks, and what did you like the most? What did you dislike the most? Any gripes, anything that you wanted to comment on?
Well, I like the Josh Allen pick, but me personally, I have to go with Lamar Jackson. Big trust, Last game, he may not have won, but I still think he's a play extender, still an explosive runner. And Lamar Jackson, that is my pick.
Well, I can't really go anywhere else. I think that both of those quarterbacks are just playing two of the best brands of football that I've ever seen in my life. And moving on into a sport that we also know so much about, seam heads is what they like to call us here at HTF Bets. We're moving into our baseball picks for the wild card race coming up right after this.
For real? That was smooth?
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Ah, finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who? Marcus?
You good? I'd give them one of these, one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There, we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
Honor of the fact that we have Augie guest hosting today, we decided to go MLB as this is one of the sports that he knows the best, and we also have a guest, I guess you could call it, Edgar Rodriguez. If you've ever heard the name, he's featured in some of the HTF stuff we do, as well as ESPN pregame show that we may be hosting. So Edgar, I just wanted to introduce you. How are you doing? And how excited are you to watch some baseball going down the stretch here?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be back on Bets. Thank you for mentioning ESPN. You didn't have to do that, Andrew. But anyway, let's talk some MLB. Augie, I'm sure we'll disagree, maybe agree on some things, but I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, Edgar, I'm excited now. Obviously, I don't like your favorite team. That's fine. And
Me
you
neither.
don't like mine
That's
either.
okay.
It's known. It's known. But look, I am excited to talk some ball with you because this guy does know everything. Edgar is the man around here at HTF, so yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, man.
It's like a
Too
battle of
kind.
New York
Too
here.
I know.
We have the Mets on one side, we have the Yankees on the other side, and neither of them are very great teams, but that's besides the point. I will move into Diego here. Who do you think is making the wild card for you?
So I think with the American League, it's an interesting race right now, but I think the Mariners are going to make the playoffs right now. They sit one place higher than the Rangers, holding that last spot in the American League wild card race. And look, I think Cal Raleigh is going to win MVP. He will.
Big dumper.
He has 53 home runs. I mean, he's hitting 241. He's got a 925 OPS, 113 RBIs this year. I mean, he's just the best player in the American League right now. And also, like, when you look at their team, like, they have one of the better rotations in the majors. They got Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu. I mean, good outfield, too. And they got Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez, and Victor Robles. They're all playing pretty well so far this year. And I think, too, the interesting thing about what their upcoming schedule is that it looks sort of favorable, right? They got a 4-game series against the Angels coming up, a 3-game series at the Royals, 3-game series at the Astros, and a 3-game series versus the Rockies, and a 3-game series versus the Dodgers. Obviously, that'll be a little tough to kind of round out the regular season. But I think the Mariners are overall just a good team. I think if they find it together, like, who knows? In baseball, I mean, anything could happen once October hits, and if they find their stride, I think they could go far.
You're telling me that you're not scared of the Rockies or the Angels? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that is one.
I think they were eliminated from playoff contention as soon as the season started.
I think from game one, you could have put the graphic up saying that the Rockies
Before the season
started. And Edgar, I wanted to toss it to you first. Now, I heard Diego make an interesting comment saying that he thought Cal Raleigh was the best player in the AL. What are your thoughts on that, and what team are you a fan of?
I'll let that slide, Diego. Now, have you heard of Aaron Judge? Anyway, let's move on to the Yankees. Now, to be fair to Diego, I always like the Mariners to make the playoffs. I always think they have a solid team. And like you said, Kyle Raleigh has been insane this season. So, I'm not opposed to that pick. And also, if you watch Mariners games, out in left field, they have Edgar Martinez. So, Mariners do have a special place.
Everything's about Edgar.
Anyway,
we weren't wrong when you said this guy's the man. No, we weren't kidding.
Let's talk about the Yankees now. Look, it's been a tumultuous season, I think you can say. I mean, if you start the season, like we talked about, before the season, Garrett Cole, Tommy John out for the whole season. You think, man, how can it get worse from here, right? It's been pretty inconsistent when we talk about pitching. And it has to be said, I mean, Judge has been carrying the team offensively again, right? And that has been one of our downfalls. I hate being negative on a guy like Anthony Volpe, but let's face it, he has not had a great 2025 season. So again, it's going to come down to the last few series of the year. We have a huge road trip coming up. Red Sox, Twins, and Orioles. So, I mean, that is going to either make or break this wild card race. I would have never expected Toronto to be in pole position in the East. I have to face it. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Blue Jays broadcasters are going a little harsh on us recently. But, look, I mean, we'll see how we end off this year. But yeah, this road trip now coming up, I think is going to decide who goes and who goes to the playoffs and who goes home. I think it's as simple as that.
Well, I can't help but disagree just because of the nature of what we're talking about. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., did you not think that he was going to just have an outstanding season after getting paid, Edgar?
I mean, you never know at this point, right? With Vlad, I mean, he kind of pushed and pushed. Was kind of not going to sign a contract, then he does, and then it was a lot of unknowns with Vladdy, but I mean, I guess it's paid off so far.
All right, I'm joking with you a little bit here. Obviously, the Yankees, nobody really expected the Blue Jays to be in the position that they are at this point. But I think that the Yankees, and for that part, well, actually, I have to disagree with the Mariners pick a little bit. But the Yankees is a good pick just because of the fact that I don't think that they slip out of the playoffs at this point, especially with the road trip that you mentioned. I think that they come out on top of a lot of those games and they're able to figure it out. Guys, thoughts on the Yankees?
I mean, they're all right. I mean, if you hit the ball to Anthony Volpe, anything can happen. But yeah. I do like Diego's pick about not only the Mariners to make it, but also Kyle Raleigh. Kyle Raleigh should be the MVP. Yeah. If Judge didn't get hurt, maybe there's more of a obviously Judge is having a fantastic season, but if he didn't get hurt and he kept the stats on pace, then maybe there's an argument. But I think it's pretty clearly Kyle Raleigh. Yeah.
And he, if nothing else, he is the MVP of league nicknames because the Big Dumper is genuinely one of the greatest nicknames I've ever heard.
He deserves it for that alone.
100%. Well, I wanted to move into my pick, which is actually the opposition towards Diego's pick. Yeah. I have the Texas Rangers to make the wild card and make the playoffs. I think that at plus 210, this is solid value, especially because of the fact that the Texas Rangers are one of the hottest teams in the MLB. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games, and not only that, they have the lowest ERA in all of the MLB. Jacob deGrom has had his first healthy season in what feels like years. He's actually played the most innings of any pitcher on that staff, and just in general, that staff has been really good for them this year. And they have won or drawn each of their last 6 series, including a sweep against the Brewers, which are the hottest, or not the hottest team anymore. Obviously, they just got swept, but they have the best record in the league, and we're just one of the best teams, if not the best team, for an extended period of time. Their lineup is also led by Josh Smith, who picked up where he left off in 2024, is having another great season, batting leadoff. Wyatt Langford's on that roster, Jock Peterson, Jonah Heim, Josh Jung, just putting their batting into perspective. And then obviously, like I mentioned before, their pitching staff is great. They're 2 points ahead of the next highest, the next lowest in ERA. And it's headed by deGrom, as I mentioned, and then also you have Nathan Eovaldi and that staff, Patrick Corbin and Jack Leiter. So I think that their pitching staff is strong enough to get them to a playoff spot. And at plus 210, I'm the only one who has an underdog here, and I like a good underdog story. Thoughts, guys?
No, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think with the Rangers, I mean, they do have a really good roster. I just think when it comes down to just like the Mariners, like I said, I think it's just having just so many guys, kind of like the Rangers do, where they can pop off like at any moment. And I don't know. I mean, I like the Mariners' favorable schedule going into the rest of the season. So we'll see. I haven't really looked too much at the Rangers' schedule, I'm going to be honest, but I think the Mariners, I think they're going to pull it out over the Rangers.
Yeah, and this Rangers pitching staff, it has elite talent on it, like deGrom, and Eovaldi probably had the best start of the season. I haven't quite caught up on what he's done lately, but I think everybody was shocked when he wasn't an all-star. The guy was simply elite to start the season.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, this Rangers pitching staff can get hot quick. They got the bats. They've shown with the World Series that they can get hot when they need to. So I like your pick for them to sneak in and make the playoffs.
And then I like your pick. You like my pick.
Yeah.
What's your
Edgar,
pick?
Edgar really loves this pick, is what I've been told. But also, real quick, Edgar, it was a lot of fun for me when my Marlins swept your Yankees.
Ooh. Oh, it was fun.
Why do
Sold
we
out.
Wait. We're talking about making the playoffs here.
Oh,
Okay? We're talking about
okay,
making the
all right.
playoffs.
Don't throw shots.
So let me just slow you
Okay.
down there a little bit.
Let me get to my playoff team. I'm sorry, Edgar, but I didn't take it. Kyle Stowers is the man. But so look, my last playoff team currently sits in the 6th playoff spot in the NL East. In the NL. It's the Mets. They haven't been great the last couple of weeks. They've lost 5 in a row, and they're probably about to get swept today by the Phillies. Their trade deadline was, at the time, it was great. It's kind of fallen apart. Ryan Helsley, I have no words. You've been straight up terrible. There is no words. You went from being one of the best relief pitchers in baseball to being thrown in the 7th inning when we're down by 10. Like, what is going on? I mean, Pete Alonso's been the man this year. He's got 113 RBIs, tied for second with Kyle Riley.
Glad you paid him.
Oh, yeah, big time. And we should sign him for the rest of his life. He should never leave the Mets. Juan Soto, in his down year, according to Edgar and the rest of his fan base, is 4th in OPS with a 930-plus OPS. He has 95 RBIs. He's hit 39 home runs. The guy's been simply elite.
He's surprised me.
Juan Soto's doing Juan Soto things, but apparently it's a down year. The pitching staff hasn't been great. I mean, they called up 3 rookies. They've been pretty good. Besides David Pearson, nobody else can go in past the 6th inning. But in the bullpen, Edwin Diaz is doing Edwin Diaz type things, but the bullpen scares me. But I do think this team has, especially the last couple of months, has been hot enough on offensively to make up for their lack of starting pitching.
100%.
So I like them to keep their spot, as they're currently 2 games above the Reds.
Well, I like your pick. I know that Edgar may have some gripes with it. Any final thoughts on just the whole segment? Anything you wanted to highlight, Edgar?
No, look, I think the Mets will make it to the playoffs, so I'll give you that one. Andrew, look, it's in the Mariners' hands, so the Rangers are going to have to come up with something big if they are to overtake the Mariners. Of course, that 1.5 game difference at the moment. So I'll have to lean towards Diego. I think the Mariners are going to just squeeze in there ahead of the Rangers.
Really quickly for both the New York guys, how possible is it that we get a Subway Series in the World Series?
I think it's much more possible for the Mets to make the World Series than it is the Yankees because, look, Aaron Judge, notoriously stinky playoff performer. You guys don't have Juan Soto anymore. Garrett Cole's not coming back. Your pitching staff isn't great. A ball's going to hit to Anthony Volpe when it matters the most, and it's going to go right through his legs, and stuff's going to happen.
Wow, that's a very bleak picture. But yeah, let's save that for a different year, Andrew.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, with that, we have, like I mentioned in the open of this show, we have a new spin on one of the segments that we've been doing for years now. So stay tuned for it right after this.
Show, but I want to give you a little rundown of everything we do here at the Hitting the Field Network. My name's Nick Cohen, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field, our flagship show heading into season 21. Live streaming every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we talk about anything and everything sports. Tuesdays, we have season 3 of Girls Got Game. Hosts Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores discuss all the biggest topics in women's sports. On Wednesdays, make sure to tune into season 7 of The Combine, hosted once again by Ty Patton. This podcast dives deep into every detail about the NFL season. Next on Thursdays, we live stream season 11 of HTF Bets, brought to you by Andrew Gregg, Diego Ortiz, and Ben Huber. Any sports betting questions? I'll let the pros answer those on Thursday. Then TGIF, because we have new episodes of season 9 of Nighttime, hosted again by Matthew Bracker and Kathleen Moore. Nighttime keeps you up to date on all UCF and collegiate sports. Penultimately, Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon are back for season 2 of HTFC. Soccer is a year-round sport, so make sure not to miss HTFC. Lastly, end your week on Sundays with our vlog squad, asking the hard-hitting questions and letting you behind the scenes of our studio days. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram and TikTok to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, leave a like and comment, and with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I've been Nick Cohen, and enjoy the rest of your show.
And we are back. Like I mentioned in the end of the last segment and the top of the show, we have a brand new version of Surefire Picks of the Week. So instead of doing a 3-leg parlay for each of them, I feel like a surefire pick should mean that we at least have a winning record or at least somewhat close to it.
Yeah, I feel like the three-leg parlays never really hit.
Yes, and besides the one time where Nick Cohen miraculously won 5 of like 11, I think it was, nobody's even been relatively close. So we wanted to do just straight picks. Each of us has one pick that we really, really like, and I'll get it started with Packers -3 today. Obviously, they play the Commanders in what should be one of the best games in hopefully the season. The Packers are just one of these teams where you look at him and you think maybe an early Super Bowl contender, and I think that's why I like Packers -3. I just think that with Micah Parsons being traded there, the defense looks spectacular. Jordan Love obviously is looking like what they drafted him to be, the Aaron Rodgers replacement. They have a solid enough wide receiver room with Matthew Golden going to be improving year over year. And I just think in general, they are a little bit better than this Commanders team. Obviously, this is a Commanders team that just made the NFC Championship, but I think that was more of like, not a fluke, but I just don't think that they are that much better than the Packers, and I honestly think the Packers are better than them. So Packers -3 today, obviously, could go either way. I think that, and if it's a field goal game, then you get your money back. So I like Packers -3 today. Thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. I think the Packers will win. I don't know if I think it might be a little closer than that, but I do like at least Packers money line to win tonight.
Yeah, same. I mean, I think I lean a little bit more towards the Commanders tonight, but I mean, I like the pick too. I think the Packers. I think the Packers can definitely win this game. So.
Yeah, I mean, and Josh Jacobs also left off right where picked up right where he left off, and also they just beat a team that won 15 games last season. Obviously, the Detroit Lions lost a bunch of two of the best coordinators in the league, and they had a very disappointing end to the last season. But in general, the Detroit Lions are still going to be a very good team. There's still a lot of talent on that team, and for them to handle them the way they did, I feel a lot of confidence going into the Packers game.
They handle business at home, which is what needs to happen. So I like this pick, honestly. Like I know I said I don't know if I like the cover, but it's kind of growing on me a little bit, Andrew. It's kind of growing on me. I do like this pick.
Well, I appreciate the love for my pick, and moving into that, I have a pick that I also like. Diego, kick us off.
Yeah, so I like the Falcons on Sunday Night Football to cover +3.5 against the Vikings. Right now, that's sitting at -108. I believe in this Falcons team. I really do. I know they kind of underwhelmed me a little bit on Sunday against Tampa. We talked a little bit about the Falcons in the first segment about Bijan Robinson, and I think they're going to follow the theme of just trying to feature him into the offense more. I also felt like Kyle Pitts was featured a little bit more than he was kind of last year. I think the first game was a little bit more encouraging for me. And I think this team, look, the thing with the Falcons is outside of their skill players like Penix and Robinson, London, Pitts, they kind of have other guys that are a little bit more under the radar, but they make plays. And I think the Falcons are going to keep that same theme because I think a lot of times they play to their competition, Atlanta does. And I think McCarthy's going to have a good game. I think this game's going to be close. I think both offenses are going to thrive a little bit. So it could be a high-scoring game, but I think the Falcons will keep it close and maybe even win. So I like the Falcons +3.5 this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Ray McLeod, I feel like is one of those guys where you say, he's one of those playmakers that you kind of don't even think about anymore in the league. But I definitely don't dislike the pick. I'm just not a huge believer in the Vikings in general, and we'll see what J.J. McCarthy can do, but I don't know that I have full belief in them. So Packers Falcons +3.5, maybe even money line. I definitely like it. And then Augie, move us into your pick.
Yeah, I got the only one that's as positive odds. I got Tennessee to beat Georgia at +145 this week. Look, this Tennessee offense has started off hot. Joey Aguilar, the UCLA transfer, has really led this offense to another year. They're averaging 600 yards a game right now. Now, they haven't played the best competition. This Syracuse team wasn't what Syracuse was last year, and obviously they played East Tennessee State. But look, they put up 72 points. They did what a good team should do against bad competition. They put up 45 against Syracuse. They're averaging 350 in the air and 250 on the ground. They're playing elite offense right now, and look, this Georgia team, they didn't really have their offense did not look great last week against Austin Peay. I don't really know how much I trust Gunnar Stockton against this Tennessee defense. And, yeah, look, I fully expect goalposts to be going down to the Tennessee River. And, yeah, I mean, this Neyland Stadium is going to be rocking, and I really like Tennessee to win this game at +145.
Yeah, I mean, well, you mentioned Gunnar Stockton against this Tennessee defense. I feel like I'm scared of Joey Aguilar versus this Georgia defense.
The Georgia defense is elite, too. The Georgia defense is always going to be Georgia defense, but yeah.
Yeah, I will say, for reasons that I mentioned on Nighttime, I don't fully love the pick, but I'm hoping that you can go 1-0 as well, and I'm just hoping that we all have a good week. Yeah. Diego, any thoughts on the pick?
No, yeah, I like the pick. I mean, I think Georgia will probably win it, in my opinion, but, I mean, I like the confidence.
Yeah, well, I like the confidence too, and I like the confidence that we all exhibited on the show today. I feel like great show, and obviously from the viewers, we loved having you, and hope to see you again next week here on the network at 12 p.m.